And nearly 1,000 pregnant women die every year in the United States, and the largest number of those deaths occur in Georgia.
Representative Buddy Carter recently met with medical experts at St. Joseph's Candler for a roundtable discussion to learn more about this disturbing situation. Congressman Carter joins us this morning. Hello.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
This is really an alarming situation that I don't think is getting a whole lot of attention until you started bringing it with this roundtable.
Right, and to be quite honest with you, the way that this evolved was the committee I serve on in Congress, the Energy and Commerce Committee. We actually had I serve on the Health Subcommittee, and we had a hearing dealing with this issue nationwide. We had 4 panelists there, 4 members of the panel. 3 out of the 4 were from Georgia. And,
wow.
You know, I'm kind of low man on the totem pole right now, so I was one of the last ones to ask questions. I was appalled to learn that Georgia is one of the leading states. In fact, nationwide, I believe that's 21 women per 100,000 births. But in Georgia, it jumps up to 46 per 100,000.
So more than double the national average?
Yeah, and you know, quite frankly, I was embarrassed. I had known about this, but I had not really delved into it.
Was there any reason given for why Georgia has such a high number?
Well, that's one thing we want to make sure and figure out. You know, we've got CDC here in Georgia, and sometimes the numbers, we want to make sure they're not skewed because of the fact that they're here. But we don't think that is a problem. There are a number of issues that lead to this. First of all, you know, we've got a lot of rural areas in Georgia, and you find that, you know, there's a lack of OBGYNs. I think we've got so many counties that don't even have an OBGYN in the county. That's one of the problems that we have. Our details and our reporting is probably better than it is in most states. So I suspect it may be even higher in other states than it is than what they are reporting.
Wow. What surprised you when you talked with those doctors and physicians and all those medical experts? What were they saying about all of this?
Well, of course, they identified a number of things that we could do to improve it, including making sure we get more OBGYNs and trying to incentivize doctors to go into those areas, but also home health. That, you know, home health is not always reimbursed for seeing those because you need to follow the patient, follow the mothers after birth, and, you know, to check on not only their physical health, but also their mental health. A lot of that, and we were particularly alarmed because the figures show that the African-American population is 3 to 4 times more susceptible, and that is regardless of income or education. So it's, you know, it's perplexing. I mean, we need to understand exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. These experts you met with must have really appreciated the attention that this situation was getting.
Well, they do, and it deserves attention. You know, we want to be #1 in the nation in Georgia, but not in these type of things.
Right, yeah.
So we got to figure out what's going on, and we will. And you know, it's probably a combination of things, not just one thing. But we've got to address all of those.
So how does the conversation continue? What's next?
Well, I think we go back to Washington and go back to the subcommittee and continue to work on it. And we're not going to let this just fall through the cracks. And we work on it at the state level as well. When I was in the state legislature, I was on Health and Human Services. This is the type of thing that we continue to work on, seeing how we can attract physicians to the rural areas, increasing the number of externships, of internships that physicians have there, and making sure that we are attracting them and incentivizing them to locate to the rural areas.
So this was about a week ago that you had this discussion. And is this the type of situation where talking about it leads to action?
It definitely is. This is the first step. And, you know, I was alarmed. I was alarmed to learn that Georgia was this high. And I don't think that many people know that. Right. And it's just something we've got to emphasize and got to stress. I'm encouraged. I've heard some of the candidates mention it as well in some of their commercials. So I think it's going to be something that gets more attention as time goes on.
It's all about awareness, and this is a good way to start.
It is.
Well, thank you so much again for bringing attention to this, for paying attention to it, and I know you'll be seeing us forward as it moves along. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back.